Cast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us this evening for our 30-minute informational webinar for homeowners about the Solar for All program in Mansfield and Windham. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Emily Basham, and I'm with the Connecticut Green Bank. This is our agenda for our 30 minutes together. Just a couple of housekeeping items to go over. All of the attendees are muted, but you can chat with us and ask any questions throughout the 30 minutes using the chat feature on the webinar platform. And we'll try to get to questions at the end if we have time. The webinar is being recorded, and we will post the recording soon after the webinar on our campaign website, which you can see on the screen now. PosiGen.com/solar for all Connecticut. And you can also, using the camera on your phone, scan over this QR code that you see on the screen, and you'll be prompted to the web browser for our campaign website. So we'll have this up on the screen now, and also at the end of the presentation, we'll have it up as well as our contact information for everyone that's speaking tonight. So with our time today, we're going to go over what the Solar for All program is, how solar works, and the next steps you could take to get involved with the campaign and look into getting solar for your home. Whatever we don't have time to get into today, we'd be happy to follow up with you one-on-one afterwards. So let's get to it. What is the Solar for All program? Solar for All is supported by a public-private partnership between the Connecticut Green Bank and PosiGen. The Connecticut Green Bank is an independent public state agency created by the legislature in 2011 with the goal of making clean energy more accessible and more affordable for everyone in the state. And PosiGen is a solar and energy efficiency company. And together we work to bring solar and energy efficiency to communities, particularly those that haven't been served well by traditional solar programs. And so with no credit score requirement or an income requirement, the Solar for All program really works to eliminate a lot of the barriers that exist to go solar. And so since 2015, the Solar for All program has signed up over 3,000 families in the state and who are seeing savings on average of $700 in the first year. And many of our families that are participating are low or moderate income families. So we're really working to increase household energy requirements, and we're working to reduce the barriers to going solar. And really the success of the Solar for All program is largely due to the grassroots style of outreach that we do, like webinars such as this. And it also relies on community partnerships. So we've run 7 Solar for All campaigns so far, and we're very excited to be partnered with the town of Mansfield and the town of Windham to run a joint campaign launching here in June and going through September. And so I'd like to take a few minutes to pass the mic over to our partners from the town of Mansfield and the town of Windham to just say a couple of words before we turn it over to PosiGen. So Ginny, if you want to go ahead and kick it off, you are you're unmuted, but you got to mute yourself.
Okay, hi, my name is Ginny Walton, and I'm the town of Mansfield's recycling coordinator, but I wear many hats, and one of them is that I work with the town's sustainability committee, and it was the committee's interest in participating in Sustainable CT, which is a municipal program where towns look at different actions that they can take to make their community a more vibrant, healthy, sustainable community to live in. And the term sustainability is really very encompassing. So for the Sustainable CT program, for instance, not only is it about renewable energy, for instance, or recycling or reducing waste, it's also about equity and how do we include those citizens in our community that may be currently disengaged or disenfranchised. It's about creating a community that is economically sustainable. And it also includes things like a vibrant art and creative outlet for residents. So there are a lot of actions within Sustainable CT that a community can delve into. And so Solar for All is really part of that program, where we're looking to include more of our residents in with renewable energy. So the Sustainability Committee is very happy to be participating in this program. Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny. And if I can pass the mic over to Brendan.
Hi, Emily. Thank you very much. So I just want to say thank you everyone for joining us tonight who has joined us. My name is Brendan Murphy. I'm a Windham resident and I'm the newest member of Windham Sustainable CT Committee. Ginny really summed it up very articulately as to what the committees in our respective towns are trying to do. It's broad-based, encompassing ideas where we're focusing on ideas kind of we can build off of. I think that's a way that I've been looking at sustainability recently. It's not necessarily what you can do right now in the present. It's what can we do to meet our needs in the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs as well. And it's about cooperation. It's about working together. We're all citizens of this planet, and we're all citizens of our communities and of the state. So with this in mind, with the idea that we need to work together to not only suit our own needs, but to basically work with others and to give our responsibility to others. We're really excited as the town of Windham to work with our neighbors, the town of Mansfield, to offer the Solar for All program. To hopefully it's something that all residents can be a part of. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Brendan. Do we have any other town committee members or department members that would like to speak?
Yeah, I'd like to say something if I could, Emily.
Yep, Doug, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Doug Bertone. I'm a resident of Windham. I am also with the Windham Energy Commission, and I'm really happy to see PosiGen coming into our community. I know they had tremendous success in Hartford and Middletown, and I'm excited to see the same program being offered to the residents of Mansfield and Windham. My association with PosiGen is a very good one. Several years ago, we had a heat wave after heat wave, and it cost me in excess of $200 on top of my regular bill just to keep my home air conditioned. PosiGen came in, installed the panels at no cost to me, and my savings immediately was unconscionable. The first 5 months, the panels had generated enough electricity to cover my bill from, I believe it was July through November. Very happy with PosiGen. They did a fantastic job, and again, I'm really happy to see them offering this program to my neighbors and the folks of Mansfield. Thank you, Emily.
Well, thank you, Doug. Thanks, Brendan and Ginny. We're happy to be partnering with you and have you on tonight. And so now I want to turn it over to our friends at PosiGen, Susan and Jonathan.
Yes, we're here. Hello, my name is Susan Young. Hello, everyone. And I definitely would have to share the same sentiment that Doug just did. My name is Susan, and I actually, due to my high energy costs several years ago, I also looked into solar. That time, PosiGen was on 2014. PosiGen was brand new to Connecticut at that point. But I had originally looked into other companies before and was told that I needed to put down as much as 30,000 down to access renewable energy, which I just thought was ridiculous because number one, I was trying to lower my costs, not to put myself in more debt. So thank God for PosiGen coming through, being able to meet with me, told me about the terrific program. Never any money down, no income requirement, no minimum credit requirement. And just the lease was just so affordable that I have been a customer of PosiGen now for 5 years. And not only am I a customer of PosiGen, but after my system was installed, I actually reached out to PosiGen when I saw the benefit, just to realize that I can help so many other families who are in the same situation as myself, just burdened with high energy costs. I reached out to PosiGen and I told them, hey, you guys got to hire me because I have to tell people about this system. And so, so it has been 5 years, and I am now the community marketing manager here at PosiGen. It really is our mission just to reach out and provide assistance to all those who need it in the form of renewable energy and energy efficiency. So when the company had started in Louisiana and wanted to provide a positive financial impact, it did not stop there in Louisiana, but we've reached out now to Connecticut and New Jersey and working on other states just to bring that same benefit of reducing the household energy consumption. And bottom line is it's positive energy. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Susan. And now we'd like to turn it over to Jonathan to tell us about how solar works and how the program works and all the details. Jonathan?
Sure, thank you, Emily. My name is Jonathan Drum. I'm one of the sales managers in our Hartford office at PosiGen. And basically, the way that we look at things is different than other solar companies where we've mentioned it a couple of times. We like to pair both energy efficiency and solar to give you the benefits of both. If you can move to the next slide, we'll explain a little bit about what is solar and how does it work. Doesn't cost you anything out of pocket to go solar with us. We do all the work for you. We supply the permits and all of that. Once we get the panels installed and get them turned on, the sun will hit the solar panels. It turns it into a DC current. And frankly, in the state of Connecticut, facing south is your best location for solar because the sun's always in the southern hemisphere. It rises in the east, sets in the west, of course, but it's always in the south. So we're looking at all of these different factors of your roof and what the trees look like and a multitude of things. But the sun hits the panels, turns it into a DC current. It needs to be converted to AC to be used in the home. So the electricity travels from the solar panels, goes to an inverter, which is located where near your meter is located today, changes the DC current to AC and sends it into house. So anything that's using energy at that moment would be using the solar power real time. And what happens most of the time, especially in the spring, the fall, and the summer, is we tend to generate more energy than we're actually using. And that extra electricity gets sent back out to the grid, but it gets banked for you in a figurative bank where that's called net metering, which the exact explanation of net metering is for every kilowatt hour that you send out to the grid, you get a free kilowatt hour back. Ultimately, you get to keep everything that the system produces for you, and you use it whenever you need it. So on a normal, beautiful summer day, if you're out enjoying the day, you're going to be generating a ton of energy that you're not using. It goes out to the grid. And when you turn the lights on at, say, 11 or 12 o'clock at night, you're going to pull from the grid, but you pull from that energy that you didn't use during the day first, and then you would pull the rest from the utility company. If you go to the advance to the next slide, trying to speak as quickly as I possibly can so we can make sure we have enough time for questions at the end. We're not done. Once we get those panels installed and activated, we want to do an energy audit on your home as well and make sure that all of the conditioned air that's in your house stays in the house. We want to make sure that we decrease your energy consumption while also increasing your production. So we're going to come into the home, we're going to do an energy audit, we're going to seal up any drafts or leaks that are happening with caulking, we'll give you door sweeps for your doors, LED light bulbs. We do a ton of different things all around the house, not only energy efficiency audits, but we also do upgrades on the home. And we know that on average, we're saving folks anywhere between 20 and 30% on average of your overall energy bills. You can see where some of that energy is coming from in the grid that you see on your screen. If you advance to the next slide, what ultimately happens is you have two bills. You have a solar lease, which has a fixed cost that never changes. We do a 20-year lease with our homeowners, and they know what to expect going forward. You know, right now your electric bill probably goes up and down. It's high during certain months of the year, low during other months of the year. What happens going forward is we will ideally be able to replace most of that energy with solar, and then if you have to buy any from the electric company, you would buy whatever extra from them. But the combination between the solar lease cost and what your future cost would be with the utility company is dramatically lower than what you've been paying. If you move to the next slide, as kind of a short summation of the program, of course, it's a fixed cost for 20 years, and there's absolutely no income requirements or no credit requirements. As far as we're concerned, you as an individual qualify to go solar. It's a matter of, does your house qualify? Does your house get enough sun? Do you have enough location on your roof for us to put panels to make it worthwhile, to make sure we're going to save you money? So you pay us nothing up front. You actually don't pay anything until the system is up and running and activated, turning your sunlight into power. You'll see a lower electric bill, and then eventually you'll have a solar lease payment. Those costs are fixed. We typically do 4 different size systems for our homeowners, and the cost of your lease would be dependent on that size system that you would need for your home. We back that up with energy efficiency, and of course monitoring and upkeep is all included. You know, anything that ever happens to the system, it's on us. We'll be out there to fix it. If you advance to the next slide, our process begins with an evaluation, with a free home assessment. We'll have one of our folks come out and meet with you, whether it be in person or we're doing many meetings over the phone and with Zoom, practicing social distancing. We'll have a rep come out, meet with you, look at your bill, get an understanding of how much energy you're using today and what you're spending, and then explain to you what we can do for your home. After that, we would have an engineer come and validate that we can move forward, that your roof is in good enough shape, as well as your electric is all up to code, and we can move forward. From that point, we take the ball and we run with it. We do everything for you. You just have to sit back and wait for the savings to come. We'll take care of permitting. We'll take care of the installation. We'll schedule the inspection. Eversource will come out and change your meter to a net meter that, if you remember, it runs both ways. Make sure you keep all your energy for yourself. And we turn your system on and you get to save some money. I will pass it back to Emily, I believe, to give us some case studies.
Thanks, Jonathan. And I just want to remind attendees that you guys can use the chat feature to ask any questions. I think we'll have some time here in a couple of minutes to get to questions if you have them. So feel free to use the chat. And I just wanted to share a case study. Sometimes it can be hard to really understand the economics of going solar just from pricing. So this is a customer, a PosiGen customer who went solar in 2015, Melvin, lives in Bridgeport, Connecticut. And the chart pieces out exactly what his costs are pre-solar and post-solar. So if you look at it along the rows, Melvin's 6 kilowatt solar system cost him $75 per month for his lease, which, as Jonathan mentioned, is a fixed cost lease. So over 20 years, his solar system, his payments are going to total out to be $18,000. Now, if Melvin didn't go solar and he was pulling all of his electricity from the grid, his electricity bills would total out to be over $50,000 that he's paying to utility for all of his electricity needs. But with his 6 kilowatt system, his majority of his electricity needs are being met from his solar panels. And so after going solar, his electricity costs were lowered to $34,000, and that's including his $75 per month lease cost. So Melvin joining the PosiGen family meant for him that his over the next 20 years, his $50,000 of electricity costs were reduced because of solar and energy efficiency to $34,000. And so Melvin saved his family $600 in the first year of going solar. And over the next 20 years, he'll be saving over $16,000. As you can imagine, that made Melvin quite a great ambassador for the program. You can see his photo and his house behind him. He was the first house on his street to go solar. And as you can see on the screen, all of his neighbors thought that he was crazy to go solar back in 2015. And then, you know, the savings that he experienced and shared with his neighbors, they also went solar. As you can see, his neighbors down the street all went solar with the program. So that's just kind of an illustration of the solar savings that are available through participating in the program. And so we'd like to get to any questions that you have. Once again, the Solar for All program is between the Connecticut Green Bank and PosiGen, and we're very happy to partner with the town of Mansfield and the town of Windham to bring this outreach campaign to the community. And we're very excited to answer any questions that you guys might have. So let me just check the question queue. It looks like there's a question: what happens to the lease if I move from my house before the completion of the 20-year lease? Why don't I pass it back over to Jonathan if you want to take that?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. It's actually one of the things that separates us from many of the other solar companies in the state. So appreciate the question. It certainly wasn't planned, but you have 3 options if you go to move within the 20-year period. Your first option is what happens most of the time is a lease transfer. One of our representatives would meet with the new buyer, and a simple lease transfer doesn't cost anything, takes about 5 or 10 minutes to communicate to the new homeowner, and they sign that and you move on with your day. Because we're the only solar company in the entire country with no income or credit requirements, you're in an extreme advantage with us in that regard, because anyone can buy your house regardless of their income, regardless of their credit. They will qualify to take over the panels. Your other 2 options, and in addition, we're not going to pull a hard credit score right before they go to close on your house either, so keep that in mind. The other 2 options would be if you have that rare buyer that wants to buy your house but is adamant about not having the solar panels stay on the house. We're the only solar company that I'm aware of in the state that will let you get out of the agreement for a small amount of money. That amount of money is loaded in the agreement. It's actually written in the agreement. It's $1,800. We typically find that we're saving folks that within the first year and a half or so. But you would pay that $1,800. We'll come out. We'll take the panels off, patch up any holes, make it look as though you didn't have solar panels up there, and you move out. You're free and clear of the lease at that point for that period of that amount of money. You can also pay the same $1,800 and move the panels from your current home to your new home. assuming that that new home is in Eversource territory, that it's in Connecticut, and that it's a solar worthy house. I joke that you can't go buy a tree house and put solar panels on them, but as long as your new house is solar worthy, you can move the panels to that house. Most buyers are doing lease transfers, and most of our customers that if they ever run into someone that doesn't want the panels, they're usually passing that $1,800 off to the buyer, and they're usually happy to pick up that cost, because most other solar companies would be charging a dramatically higher amount to remove the panels.
Great, thank you, Jonathan. And I see a couple other questions in the queue, but you actually covered them in your response. So thank you for being very thorough.
Sure.
And if there's no other questions, maybe we'll give it a couple more seconds for attendees to go ahead and enter any questions they may have into the chat. We love to get those questions squared away. All right, we've got another question about the pricing for the system sizes. I believe there's 4 set system sizes, correct, Jonathan? Could you, if you have on the top of your head what the costs are, and if you guys have any special promotions going on?
Certainly. Well, yes, we have 4 system sizes. They range from $50 to $120, but you can do a multitude of arrangements of those systems. I've seen our largest system that we typically do will produce, I've seen it produce as much as 11,600 kilowatts on a perfect house for solar. Obviously, if you're using more than that and you have the room on the roof, we can do more than one system for your home. I have some homeowners that have a combination of 2 or 3 different systems on one home because they need the usage. They need the system to produce more energy for them. So basically, the prices are going to range from $50 to $120, and we generally tell people if your electric bill is $75 or more, we know we will save you money, assuming that that your home gets enough sun to qualify, because all 4 system sizes that we offer have minimum requirements of them. So if we put a system on your house, it has to produce a certain amount of energy, or we just will not do it. That's to safeguard the homeowner, to make sure that we're saving them money. And so as long as we meet those parameters, we can make sure we're going to save you money. And generally, if you're spending $70 to $75 on your electric bill on average, you're usually going to find some savings.
Great. Just going through the additional questions. Thank you, Jonathan. Sounds too good to be true. What is in it for the company? I'll just kick it off and say that for the reason why this program can be available is because of the wonderful partnerships of everybody who's presenting on the call today. On behalf of the Connecticut Green Bank, we were very excited to bring PosiGen to Connecticut, for them to open up shop in 2015 and bring their solar and energy efficiency offering to the market, and support them with the Solar for All program. And it's also possible because of the community partnerships that we make to spread the word and share the word about the program. So that helps not only provide some efficiencies in terms of spreading the word, but it also helps to make sure that we're finding the customers who can really benefit from the program the most. And I'll open up Jonathan or Susan if you want to add on to that at all.
Sure. Yeah, no, and I appreciate exactly that. I mean, it's because of the partnerships. It's because of this great relationship that we have with the Green Bank. And, saying that it's too good to be true, it's probably the most common objection. If I get objections on a regular basis, it's one of the most common, because most people are trained, if you can't see the negative, they're got to be hiding something. Well, I guess I'm here to tell you that there really isn't a catch. That we are completely transparent and pride ourselves in that fact that we've got just about 16,000 customers, and every single one of them is saving money. specifically because my CEO wants me to be able to sit here with you and tell you that our customers are all saving money. So we pride ourselves in doing the right thing.
Thank you, Jonathan. And I know we're hitting the 6 o'clock mark, so I just wanted to get to one last question. Sorry, Susan, to cut you off. Does this take into account the credits that are being offered for installing solar? Jonathan, Susan, you want to take a stab at that? I'm assuming this might mean that the net metering credits, those are maybe that's what is being referred to, net metering credits. So this does take that into account, that kind of that system with utilities is accounted for on your utility bills. And potentially there are also federal credits offered, and those are offered for homeowner purchases. And so this program is for a lease. Oh, the clarification was the state. Oh, yep.
Right.
So
yeah,
the state credits are actually administered by the Connecticut Green Bank. The residential solar investment program is administered by the Connecticut Green Bank, and those credits are actually passed through to contractors on behalf of customers. So that the pricing that Jonathan mentioned earlier does take into effect the state credits that are available.
And I would also add to that, the difference there is when you're doing a lease, technically PosiGen owns the panels, so we're taking that state initiative money and offering it, a lower price. So your savings are immediate when you do a lease. There's no investment out of pocket. There's no money out of pocket. So as soon as that system is generating money, you're saving money. So we're able to take that incentive money and allow you a lower cost for the lease. If you were to purchase solar, that's where you get the state and federal credits that come back to you as a homeowner.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jonathan. And thank you guys for really, really excellent questions tonight. And I'm sorry if we weren't able to get to all of them, or maybe you still have questions remaining. So I'd really encourage you guys to contact us. We've got our website at the top of the screen, posigen.com/solar-for-all-Connecticut. There you can fill out your contact information and schedule a virtual contact-free assessment, or feel free to reach out to any one of us that spoke tonight. We've got our emails and phone numbers on the screen. And as I mentioned before, we are recording this, so we will be sure to send out the presentation and the recording after the webinar. I want to thank all of you for joining us. Thank you to the town of Mansfield and the town of Windham, and all of you for joining us this evening. Thank you very much and have a great evening.
Great, thank you.